So this time on Kitchen Convivial, we're going to make stuffed shrimp. What I have here is I bought about 3/4 pound of tiger shrimp. These were 16 to 20 count, so about this size. A little smaller than I'd like, but that was the biggest we had in our market. And for about 2 total servings, we take the larger of the shrimp and we're going to prepare those on a pan that we're going to put in the oven, and those are the ones we're going to stuff. And then the other we have, we're going to chop up the meat and use that as part of the stuffing. Here's how I prepared them. I put them on sort of a pizza pan here, and I just wanted to show you one of these, how we prepared it. So you have your shrimp like this. I pulled off the legs and the shell, but was careful to leave the tail. We want that to dress it up. It's going to lay flat then. And so to get this to lay flat, we just put it down like this and kind of cut it through, almost through the bottom in the middle there, so that we can open it up like that. And then here I'm doing about 10 shrimp for 2 servings. If they were larger tiger shrimp or other shrimp, that would be great. You could get away with 3 or 4 of them. So we're going to have to put together the stuffing. Let's go through the ingredients that we have there. We'll be using approximately half of the shrimp, the part that we didn't lay out to receive the stuffing. This will go into the stuffing. Next thing we have is some finely diced white onion. This was about a half an onion's worth. Maybe they're about a half a cup there. A couple of sliced up scallions. That'll give it some different flavor and a nice color. 2 large cloves of garlic minced right here. We have diced celery. Again, about a half a cup of that for these 2 servings. And then sometimes you would use bread, chopped up bread or bread crumbs in this kind of stuffing. I don't have any bread that I wanted to use for this recipe, so what I'm going to use is these finely chopped baby bella mushrooms. So that'll add a texture to replace the bread. I'm going to use a half a cup of butter in this recipe. And we'll need some all-purpose flour to mix in with that to make the roux. And we're going to season this with salt and pepper. We're going to season it with thyme and some cayenne to spice it up as a southern dish, and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We have a bit of chicken soup stock here. I just made this from instant. And lastly, there's maybe 6 or 8 saltine crackers, just chopped up so that we're going to use that instead of breadcrumbs. And I didn't have a lemon, but I do have a lime, so I'm going to serve this with fresh lime. Well, I've moved our ingredients for the stuffing over to the stove here, and we're going to put this, I'm using approximately, I guess about a 10-inch skillet on a medium to medium-high flame. So our pan is warming up. We're going to start off with the salted butter. I'm using a half a cup again. Put that in there. I think that's a little more butter than I want. Let's remove that. Just start with about the 1/4 cup first. Pan's still heating up. Here's our white onion. And we don't want to brown this. We just want to start it going. Get it a little tender. I'm going to put in the garlic now as well. 2 cloves garlic. Onions cooking here a little bit. Let's put in the finely diced celery. Okay, our onions and celery and garlic are cooking away here. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to put some of that butter back in. We've got our scallions. Put those in. Okay, I'm going to take about a heaping teaspoon of the flour, put that in, stir this up. Let's keep going with that. The rest of the butter. And go back, thickening that up for our roux. This was perhaps a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, there we go. Now it's starting to stick a little bit there as we move things around. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the shrimp in and the mushrooms in that don't need to cook quite so long, and cook them so they're kind of most of the way done. The shrimp, we're gonna bake this in the oven, so finish up a little bit there. And the mushroom, and let's put in our Worcestershire too. We got about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce there. Let's go to our spices. So this is the thyme. I'm gonna put in. That's about a teaspoon worth for this. I like thyme, that'll be a nice flavoring in there. And our cayenne. I like it spicy, so I'm going to 1/8 of a teaspoon, and we'll taste that and see what that's like. I'm guessing that's probably big enough for this recipe. You see how it's thickening up there, and it's going to get a little drier, so we have our chicken stock on hand. So I'll put a little bit of that in. I'm going to put a tiny splash of white wine in as well for a little bit more flavor. We can tell from the shrimp pieces are fairly well cooked, and just dry this up a little bit. So I'm going to put about half of this amount of cracker crumbs in here to thicken this up a little bit. Okay, so we have our stuffing prepared, and we're ready to put it in the shrimp. So I brought the shrimp over here, and we can just go with a spoon like this and start filling these guys. Something like that. So the pizza pan that I used here, you can just use any baking pan or jelly roll pan or whatever, is oiled with extra virgin olive oil so that they won't stick. And then we've kind of splayed out the tails a little bit, that when those cook, that will give us some nice color there. Now we're going to take our breadcrumbs and sprinkle those on the top. Okay, so here we have it, all ready to go in the oven with the cracker crumbs on the top. And I'm just going to drizzle a tiny little bit of olive oil over the top of this. Kind of moisten that up. There we go. So we're going to put this in a 400-degree oven. It'll cook maybe 8 to 10 minutes. So our stuffed shrimp have been in the oven for 10 minutes now. And there we have it. That looks pretty good. I think we're done. Okay, let's plate this up. I'm going to put a little bit of lime juice. You could use lemon juice if you like. On them like that. And for a side, we're going to have some roast asparagus. Oh, here we are at the table with our stuffed shrimp and roasted asparagus. Asparagus, one of these guys. Let's see how we did. The texture of the shrimp is really nice. It's nice and garlicky, rich, very good. Well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I do, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.